and we were very fortunate to have ministers, some of whom were, coming to China for the very first time. And in the past, they may well have had their own illusions and concepts about China. And when they got here, they saw for themselves. Their minds were blown.
Reports coming in is that the Democratic Alliance is threatening to leave the government of national unity if the president of the country and the ANC, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, goes ahead on Friday and signs into law the Bela Bill. Not to be confused with Bela Bill, where the money was stuffed under the mattress and it was stolen. This is the Bela Bill, the Basic Education Laws Amendment. The purpose of the Bela Bill is to amend the South African Schools Act of 1996. The following are some of the things that will be inserted if the bill is passed into law. In all schools, grade R will be compulsory. There will be penalty if parents prevent learners from attending schools by any other means. There will be penalty, and by penalty we mean prosecution. You will spend time in jail if you are found guilty of any of these offenses. There will be penalty if there is disruption of schools' activities. Sign language will have the status of official language for purpose of learning at public schools. To provide minister with authority to appoint someone to advise on curriculum and assessment related matters. Refine provisions related to possession of drugs on school premises. Prohibit initiation practice during school activities. Regulate and refine matters relating to budget of public school. Extend powers of ministers to make regulations and to provide for matters incidental thereto. The list of things that will be inserted in the amendment is quite long. I was just mentioning few of them, but it's quite a long list that the DA is actually not agreeing with. They are disagreeing with the Bela Bill. They are saying that it has to go back to Parliament so that they can look into the matter. It mustn't be passed, as Ramaphosa will be doing that on Friday. They want more time. Take it back to Parliament. Let us look at how the members have voted in the past when this matter was brought into Parliament. When the issue of Bela Bill was brought into Parliament, they had to vote on the adoption, and while voting, the result came as follows. 223 voted yes and 78 voted no. Some of the parties that voted yes were ANC, EFF, IFP, NFP, PAC, and on the noes, it was the DA, the FF+, ACDP, and the Al-Jamaa. And you look into it, you find that the DA, FF+, and Al-Jamaa, with just the minor contributions, are the ones that are making part of the government of national unity. Now, it has not been long since the GNU was formed, and already the DA says that if Ramaphosa goes ahead and sign into law the Bela Bill, they are going to be threatening to leave. There is a huge possibility that they are going to pull out of the GNU. According to the DA, they are fighting to uphold the principles on which the GNU was formed, including the need for sufficient consensus. The DA will not allow the ANC to further erode the powers of school governing bodies to advance the centralized control of the ANC cadres. The leader of the DA, Mr. John Steenhuisen, is reported to have said the following: Cyril Ramaphosa will violate both the letter and spirit of the joint statement of intent, which forms the foundation of the government of national unity. So, basically this matter is very simple. If the DA wants to leave, they must do it now. It cannot be that each and every time there will be issues or there would be decisions, the only thing the DA will bring into the table would be that if you proceed, we are pulling out. I've seen them, they joined Ramaphosa there in China as part of the delegates, and they were looking happy, and they seemed like they were visiting just a new place which they had a whole idea in mind, and finally they came into something that was different from what they portrayed. Now here is the DA the leader of the DA, who is alleged to have said that we are going to pull out of the GNU if Ramaphosa signs that bill. He's meeting Ramaphosa on Thursday to discuss the matter and say that I am trying to convince you not to proceed with signing this. About 223 members said yes. 78 members said no. What else do you need as the DA? What power do you hold in the GNU to go against the people who voted in parliament? Do they have a belief that since, well, they formed the GNU, going into parliament, voting might be different? Absolutely not. Just because the ANC works with the DA in the GNU does not mean that the decisions that have been made for all the 30 years, except the corruption, does not mean those decisions are going to change. ANC is for the majority. The DA is for the minority. And I think that by saying that we might leave, they are not going to leave. They are just trying to threaten the ANC so that the ANC can then try and say that we are saving the marriage. Nobody, no politician in this life can just lose those perks of being a minister, a deputy minister, just because there is a bill, a Bela Bill that will be signed. The reason the DA is saying that if you don't stop this, we might pull out is because they know that there are voters who voted for them, and those voters want the DA to stick by their guns. They are going to threaten the ANC, and Ramaphosa, if he signs this, they are not going to pull out because they know that they are going to lose. Who in their right mind would be part of government, get called a minister, start working, and suddenly there is a minor issue where they're feeling like, let us amend, and then decide to say that, well, let me pull out since, well, this smaller issue, they're not agreeing with it. They're just playing with the ANC. The ANC must just say to the DA, if you want to pull out, now is the time. Don't waste our time about we want to do this and that. Pull out so that we can try it and convene another GNU without you. Because it is clear, the DA has people that they are representing. They are not representing the rest of the country. You cannot hold the bull by its horns just because the bull doesn't want to get out of the yard. They have to leave Ramaphosa to do his job. This thing of threatening as if you are bigger than the person you are threatening must stop. The DA is not the only solution to the GNU. They know that. That is why they will never pull out, but they are going to just throw tantrums each and every time Ramaphosa comes up with something new. They decided that they are not going to go against Bela Bill. Two different things. Bela Bill, Bela Bill of that money stuffed. They are not going to go against it since, well, they are now part of the statement of intent, the GNU. But if we go to the Bela Bill and you want to sign it, we are going to threaten you. And Ramaphosa, rest assured, if you continue, we might pull out. But we know they're just playing games. No one will just go and say that I am pulling out of being a minister because Ramaphosa signed this law, signed this bill into law. It will never happen. But the DA needs to really tread carefully. You cannot govern by threatening your partner. It cannot work. It shows that thing of saying the GNU might not last for 2 years, it might actually be true. Because how do I work with someone if I say left and they say right, and then next thing I don't agree with what they say, they're going to stand up and say, I'm leaving. Those are dangerous partners that you never go into marriage with. You don't marry someone that at early stages, you can see that already. Each and every time you do something, they're threatening you with divorce. Let that person go so that you can go and find and propose another person. It can be black or white, blue, red, any person, as long as they are not acting like the DA is acting. It is upon the president on what he decides. But anyway, guys, thank you for tuning into the channel. Until Friday, when Ramaphosa does this. Cheers.